Beneath the restless skin of the Atlantic, where the light thins into cold sapphire and the waves carry memories older than continents, something waits. Not a ruin shaped by storms, nor a whisper carved by chance, but a presence, deliberate, ancient, and patient. Down where silence becomes a living thing and the ocean holds its breath, fragments of a forgotten civilization lie scattered like broken prayers across the sea floor. Each relic pulses with a quiet question. Who were they? And why did the ocean claim them so completely? If mysteries have weight, this one feels heavier than stone. It pulls us downward, into the endless blue expanse, daring us to look deeper than we ever have before. If you feel the pull too, then like, share, and subscribe. Because what we are about to uncover may rewrite everything we thought we knew about humanity's oldest stories. The descent begins with a trembling hum, a soft vibration echoing through the hull of the submersible as it slips beneath the rolling skin of the Atlantic. The surface world fades quickly, swallowed by shifting gradients of blue that deepen with every meter. Sunlight fractures into pale ribbons, then into threads, then into nothing at all. Soon there is only the steady thrum of engines and the heartbeat-like pulse of sonar searching the darkness ahead. It feels less like entering water, and more like entering time itself. Thick, heavy, patient. Inside the vessel, the crew speaks in hushed tones, though no one knows why. Perhaps it's instinct, or reverence, or the simple understanding that whatever waits below is older than language and deserves silence more than sound. The external lights flicker on, staining the abyss with a faint halo. It reveals nothing at first, only drifting particles that move like ancient dust, as if the ocean is exhaling secrets too heavy to carry any longer. Then the sonar pings again. A gentle, precise pulse. A shape answers from the darkness. Then another. Then many. The pilot slows the descent. What rises from the deep is not a ridge or a scatter of fallen rock, but geometry. Clean, deliberate, unmistakably crafted. Angles where nature makes none. Patterns where chaos should reign. The first glimpse comes as a shadowed spine of stone, jutting from the sediment like the rib of some colossal beast. But as the submersible drifts closer, its true form emerges. A vast staircase of carved blocks disappearing into the seabed, each one too perfect to be accidental. Each one whispering a history we were never meant to find. A low breath escapes someone's lips. Even through the speaker it carries awe. The staircase leads to a flat expanse, half buried under centuries of drifting sand. Here the lights catch the faint shimmer of carvings, looping lines and spirals that almost seem to shift under the glow, as if remembering the hands that shaped them. They look like a language, but not one rooted in any culture we know. Not Atlantean fantasy, not remnants of known ancient worlds. Something older, something untouched by recorded memory. The submersible circles slowly, revealing more of the colossal structure. A plaza, sunken but still graceful in the dimness. Pillars snapped in half by time but aligned too precisely to dismiss. Archways that open into dark chambers where the ocean moves sluggishly, as though reluctant to disturb the quiet inside. The ruins feel alive, waiting. Sediment stirs along the floor, curling upward in delicate spirals as if drawn by unseen breath. A small statue lies half-collapsed near a pillar, a figure carved in smooth, flowing lines, its face eroded into anonymity. Yet its posture is unmistakable, reaching upward as though toward some vanished sky, as though toward salvation. The narrator's voice would lower here, carrying just enough weight to make the viewer lean closer. What kind of civilization built this place? And why did it vanish so completely beneath the Atlantic's endless blue expanse? The camera on the submersible pans across broken tablet-like slabs scattered across the plaza. Some are blank, smoothed by currents. Others remain etched with impossible precision. Spirals, concentric circles, straight lines that intersect in ways that feel symbolic, yet unreadable. The patterns pulse faintly under the artificial light, as if the ocean itself preserved them out of respect. Scientists once said the Atlantic floor was too young, too unstable to hide ancient cities. They insisted that history, like shorelines, followed predictable rules. But down here, where light cannot touch, the ocean has written its own timeline, one that stretches far beyond the boundaries of our imagination. A strand of kelp drifts past, brushing against a fallen doorway before slipping into darkness. The submersible follows the gentle slope downward, where more structures appear. The fractured outline of what may have been a tower, its base swallowed by trenches carved by tectonic shifts long after the builders were gone. Pieces of collapsed walls lie in jagged heaps, yet their alignment hints at symmetry that once spoke of purpose and order. The pilot angles the lights toward a large central ruin, a monolithic slab standing upright despite the centuries pressing down on it. At its base rests a circular stone engraved with patterns so intricate, the crew falls silent again. Each groove is impossibly fine, almost microscopic. The design arcs outward like a starburst frozen in stone, a relic, a message, a warning. The currents brush softly across it, lifting tiny motes of silt that drift upward like glowing embers. The effect is unreal, almost sacred, as though the ocean is showing us the artifact gently, carefully, the way one might place a fragile treasure into waiting hands. A distant rumble vibrates through the water. The submersible's sensors spike for a moment. It is only the shifting of a tectonic plate, the pilot says, but his voice wavers just slightly. Everything down here feels amplified. Every noise, every shadow, every heartbeat. The ocean is vast, but the ruins make it feel small, as if the walls themselves are listening. The vessel glides through an arched passage partially collapsed at one end. Sand pours in slow cascades from cracks above, shimmering like stardust in the beams of light. Inside, the chamber opens into a narrow hall lined with stone markers. Some stand tall, others lie toppled, but each bears markings similar to those on the tablets outside. The deeper the submersible travels, the more intact the carvings become, shielded from the currents that erode everything exposed to time. At the far end of the hall, a wall stands unbroken. Etched upon it is a mural stretching across its entire length, a swirling map of worlds and waves and symbols that defy easy interpretation. But between the spirals and lines, the lights catch faint silhouettes of figures. Tall, elongated forms with slender arms raised toward a rising shape above them. A sphere, perhaps, a star, a moon, or something far more mysterious. The mural hums under the lights. A trick of the mind, perhaps, or perhaps the subtle vibration of the deep. But the feeling it leaves behind is unmistakable. These people were reaching for something greater than themselves, and whatever they found, it may have been the very force that pulled them beneath the waves. The camera lingers on the mural as silt drifts slowly past, like the ghosts of forgotten years drifting through a forgotten hall. Outside, the Atlantic presses its weight against the chamber, patient and unyielding. The ruins do not resist. They simply endure. A final detail emerges as the submersible begins to turn. At the base of the mural, carved so lightly it is almost lost beneath the sediment, lies a single spiral. But this one is different, sharper, deeper, intentional, a signature, a mark, a final plea. And as the lights fade from the mural's surface, the spiral seems to tighten, as if pulling us inward, urging us deeper into the mystery waiting in the ocean's silent heart. The spiral lingers in the mind long after the submersible eases away from the mural, its curves echoing like a whispered memory. Outside the narrow hall, the vast plaza stretches again beneath the drifting haze of sediment. The vessel's lights sweep across the ruins, revealing new shapes, fragments of courtyards, collapsed corridors, and foundations that hint at an entire city swallowed whole by time. Every structure seems arranged with purpose, as if part of a design so large only distance can reveal it. Yet the ocean refuses to grant a full view. It shows us only what it chooses, piece by piece, like a patient storyteller revealing chapters one page at a time. A gentle current pushes against the hull, stirring the sand into slow-moving clouds. They drift upward, glowing faintly in the artificial light, transforming the ruins into a dreamscape where the line between history and imagination blurs. It's easy to forget the crushing pressure outside, easy to forget this place should not exist, easy to believe, even just for a moment, that the city is merely sleeping, waiting for its people to return. The pilot brings the submersible lower, close enough for the cameras to capture the delicate inscriptions carved into the ground. The patterns form intersecting paths, spirals meeting straight lines, loops folding into themselves. They look less like writing and more like a map, perhaps of the stars, perhaps of the currents, or perhaps of a knowledge we have no language to understand. A soft murmur passes through the crew. They feel it too. This city was not built in ignorance. Whoever lived here knew something about the world, or the universe, that we have forgotten. A faint metallic ping interrupts the silence. The sensors react first, displaying an anomaly beneath the sand just ahead. The pilot maneuvers forward carefully, directing the lights toward the source. At first, nothing reveals itself, just a dark patch of sediment shifting under the current. Then the ground trembles slightly and part of the sand collapses inward, exposing the top of a buried structure. It is circular, perfectly so, with a raised center etched with tightly packed symbols. The edges appear reinforced with a material not immediately identifiable. Not stone, not coral-encrusted metal, but something in between, fused by centuries of pressure and salt. The crew exchanges tense glances. This is no simple relic. This is a mechanism. The vessel hovers inches above it. A slow pulse travels across the surface, barely visible like the shimmer of heat on distant ground. But down here, where cold rules everything, such movement feels impossible. The pilot increases the brightness of the lights. The pulse quickens, then fades, as if reacting to the illumination. A collective breath is held. Even the ocean seems still. Nothing moves, yet the sensation lingers, that the artifact is not dead, only dormant. The sub drifts higher to gain perspective. From above, the circular structure resembles an eye staring upward through the centuries. The spiral symbol carved in the central stone matches the one from the mural in the hall. The same curve, the same tightening shape. A connection forms like a thread weaving through the ruins, tying mural to mechanism, mechanism to city, city to the vanished civilization that built it. But the ocean guards its final truths with a jealous patience. A cloud of silt spills from a distant corner of the ruins, as though something has shifted far beyond the reach of the lights. The sound reaches the submersible a moment later, a deep, dragging groan that vibrates through metal, bone, and breath. It is only tectonic movement, the pilot insists again, though his voice is quieter now. But the timing is too precise, too deliberate, too eerily synchronized with the exposure of the circular mechanism. The ocean is stirring. The crew continues the exploration, guiding the submersible over a low ridge of stone where broken columns lie like fallen sentinels. Beyond them, a second plaza opens. Smaller, more confined, as if designed for gatherings or rituals. The floor here is cleaner, swept free of heavy sediment by some peculiar pattern of currents. In the center stands a pedestal, half shattered but still recognizable. Something once sat upon it, something important. Broken fragments lie scattered nearby, thin, curved pieces of material that shimmer oddly under the lights, reflecting colors not usually found in the deep ocean. Tiny hints of violet, emerald, and gold. Not the glint of metal, not the translucence of glass. Something else, something crafted with intention and knowledge now lost. The fragments vibrate slightly as the submersible passes overhead. Not an illusion, not imagination. The pilot freezes the vessel mid-motion. For a moment, the ruins fall into absolute stillness. No drift of silt, no whisper of shifting stone. Only the faint electric hum of the submersible fills the void. Then one of the fragments turns, just slightly, as though responding to the energy of the lights or the presence of the sub. It rolls half an inch across the pedestal before settling again. The movement is small, almost gentle, but unmistakably real. A shiver runs through the cabin. The narrator would speak slowly here, each word carrying the weight of ancient revelation. Some relics remember. Some relics wait. The vessel inches closer. The fragment closest to the pedestal pulses with a faint internal glow, the same color-shifting shimmer observed before. The pulse is weak, irregular, but rhythmic enough to suggest intention. Life may be too bold a word, memory perhaps, or energy sealed away for thousands of years. A warning tone flickers across the sensor panel. Radiation, faint but detectable. Ancient tech of unknown origin. The pilot steadies the sub and backs away slightly, giving the ruins space, giving the ocean the respect it demands. The glow diminishes. The fragment grows still once more. But the message is already clear. These relics are not merely leftovers of a lost people. They hold something deeper. Knowledge, power, perhaps even traces of the civilization's final moments. The camera captures everything, sending it up the tether line toward the research vessel miles above. Up there, scientists will argue, doubt, and debate. Down here, in the silent cradle of the abyss, the truth speaks without words. The ruins are not ruins at all. They are remains, and remains imply a story, one that did not end peacefully. The submersible turns toward a shadowy passage leading deeper into the structure. The hull light flickers once, then stabilizes, casting a thin beam down the corridor. The path ahead is narrow, lined with broken stones that look eerily like vertebrae. The walls close in, and the ocean feels heavier here, as if pressing against the vessel with growing intention. A final glance is cast behind them, toward the glowing fragment now dim and still. A feeling settles over the crew, quiet but undeniable. The ocean did not bury this civilization by accident. It swallowed it for a reason. The corridor ahead darkens with each passing meter, and the spiral symbol etched into the mechanism echoes in their minds, tightening, coiling, leading them deeper into a truth that may not want to be found. And as the abyss closes around the submersible, the chapter ends with a single chilling thought. Some echoes are not meant to fade.